talk about some things that I have in mind about the progressed moon in Capricorn. So the progressed moon is very interesting because it takes the same amount of time for you to have a progressed moon cycle as it does for Saturn to be in a sign. Because Saturn, the lord of time, discipline, boundaries, structure, and hard work, takes about 2.5 years to be in a sign. And so there's a whole cycle with Saturn cycle. Every 7 years you have what's called a progressed Saturn, which is a new, very heavy energy that you have in your life to work with that corresponds to Saturn. Now, the moon, the progressed moon, is an influence that you feel on a really deep, internal, spiritual, instinctual, and emotional level. This is, what we're talking about, is the fact that when it comes to your progressed moon, first of all, and I'm going to do another video about this, and I have a post about it in the community tab here on this channel. And there's a lot of resources where you can go and find out about the progressed moon, and I'll talk about what the progressed moon is. But it's basically an energetic experience that you will be having for the course of 2.5 years. So get used to whatever sign and element that your progressed moon is in and house that it's in, because it's going to be there for that long. So, as I've already sort of hinted at, you want to pay attention to the element. I think that we get so lost in aspects and houses, in the complex, in the minutia, that we forget to look at the simple elements. Sometime I'll do a video on the elements. So the elements, fire, earth, air, water. What is the energy? Is it fire? Are you more passionate? Are you more big and bold? Do you want to express yourself? Do you want to get out, meet new people, do things, conquer lands, conquer territory, live a life that's true to yourself, and live a really big life? Will you be feeling a lot of excitement and energy? And will it be a good time to have fun for those 2.5 years? Or Earth? You're really putting yourself back down to Earth. You're working hard. You're becoming very detail-oriented, very detail-organized, very productive. You're becoming, more committed and more focused on your goals. So, Earth, the practical aspects of your reality. Is it air? Is it more time to network with people? Is it more social time where you're thinking, your mind is, it's more mental activity, where you're learning information and you're communicating that information? Writing, speaking, anything that deals with communication. So you're feeling more intellectual. Or is it water? Is it, I'm feeling more emotional, I'm feeling more introverted, I want to go inside myself, I want to take care of myself, I want to nurture myself, I want to get, having a water progressed moon, a progressed moon cycle in water is great for any spiritual work that you want to do in yourself, any spiritual practice, anything that you can do for healing, for coming home to yourself in a much deeper way. Is it more feeling time? For example, my progressed moon right now is in Cancer, which I find very interesting, given the fact that how extroverted I feel like I am becoming with what I'm doing on social media. And it's very interesting because I'm thinking about Venus retrograde in the sign of Leo. And Venus retrograde, if you're watching this in July of 2023, this is not going to happen. Venus is not officially going to go retrograde until the 22nd of July. And I'm thinking about how I was when it came to my creativity 8 years ago. Well, 8 years ago, I was doing pretend videos. I was pretending to teach, and I was pretending that there were people in a room that I was pretending to teach in. I liked a lot of drama, playing. I was creative in a different way, in a more shy, more private way. But now I am taking that love and that passion that I have for expressing myself through videos that I had um, in 2015, the last time that Venus was in Leo, and now I'm doing it publicly. I am making videos publicly. I'm doing live streams. I'm doing all these kind of things where I am really fulfilling what I can say that I'm passionate about and what I really enjoy doing, which is coming on here and doing these videos. And so I have changed and I have become more extroverted, more open, more social, that I am unafraid to let you into my world, to tell you about what's going on in my life, to share my feelings. Um, so that is just sort of how I've changed, how I've grown, I want to say. 8 years ago, I would look at myself going, I can't see that happening. Or maybe the version of me 8 years ago would be envious or potentially jealous of me right now with having so much knowledge into this and yeah. So, anyway. So at the time, I don't exactly know. I think that my progressed moon moved into Aries or was still in Pisces, but anyway. So those are the progressed moon elements, and it's sort of a phase that you are in, an emotional phase in your life that you are in, and certain lessons that you need to work with when it comes to, okay, well, this is an area for me to master my emotions in this element or this particular sign or this life area, which is the house placement that your progressed moon is in. That's also another puzzle piece of this. But in talking specifically about the progressed moon in Capricorn, this is a time to be productive. This is a time when people have a progressed moon in the sign of Capricorn for 2.5 years. This is a time where, the recess bell has rung. It's time to get back into school. It's time to do your due diligence. It's time to do the hard work. And I think that Capricorn rules over school and these institutions. And Capricorn really asks you, how are you doing in the school of life? How are you managing your time? How are you living your life? Are you living your life in the most purposeful and fulfilling way that you possibly can? Are you achieving all that you desire to achieve, or are you playing it short? Are you not taking action? Are you not taking initiative? Are you not procrastinating? Are you putting the work in or not? Because Capricorn, this is a time when people have this placement, they become very, very focused, very determined, and very just willing to commit to their goals. This is a time when you want to have whatever goal, particularly if it is a long-term goal that you have, to commit to it. To say, okay, I have this goal and these are the steps that I'm going to take to achieve it. One little step at a time, I'm going to work toward this goal. This is a time when people have this progressed moon transit, when they become more focused on long-term gain as opposed to short-term gain. They become more focused on what is going to be sustainable. They also become more focused on the responsibilities that they have. What are the things I need to accomplish? What am I responsible for? So becoming very practical in that way. I also think this is a time when people are putting themselves out into the world more, or feel a calling towards their reputation and doing something that can help for the greater good of all. It's a time to also step up in your life, to lead your life, to really be the backbone of your family, of your relationships, to do your part, to really be a taskmaster. And it's very, very, Capricorn's a very, very simple energy. You have work to do, get it done. Where you can compartmentalize some of those emotions and just get the job done. And so the moon is, and some astrologers say this, the moon is considered to be detrimental in Cancer because it's opposite the moon in, moon is detriment in Cancer because the moon rules, or the moon is detriment in Capricorn because it rules Cancer. So whereas Cancer is very emotional, very homebound, very focused on your inner world, maintaining your emotional world, Capricorn is more the outer world. It's more the parent who goes out, makes the money. You have responsibilities, you have work. Let's use our logical, rational mind to think and strategize. How are we going to get this done? What are the steps that we are going to take to climb that mountain to success? And put the work in. So that's what it can feel like. It can be a sobering time where you come out of it in a way which is more mature and more wise through learning the hard lessons, through doing the hard work. You become more mature on an emotional level from the time that you begin the progressed moon in Capricorn to the time when you end the progressed moon in Capricorn. It really, really makes a difference. And I would definitely encourage people who have this placement to invite them to take a look at the transformation of how they have grown spiritually and how their work ethic may have increased. How they become more practical, more hardworking from the time that they started and from the time they ended, and to really look at what are the gains that I am making, what are the things that I am achieving throughout this transit, maybe looking back to a previous progressed moon in Capricorn to say, what have I achieved in that cycle? What could I do differently the next time I have a progressed moon in Capricorn? What have I gained through this cycle? Those are just my thoughts on the progressed moon in Capricorn, and I just hope that you got something out of this and learned things and enjoyed this. So, bye everyone.